Hey there, everyone. Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins with KLKN, Channel 8, out of Lincoln. Looking at some snowfall potential now. We've got a couple of different things going on. We've got snow and we've got rain, and probably at the same time. So this will be the last update, since this is likely going to start happening overnight. So hopefully you can see this before it all starts to get going. Now, all the models are in, and they're still, oddly enough, not on the same page. Kind of, but not completely, and I'll show you why. This is model number 1, and you can see that, so make sure everything's right, checking everything out. All right, here we go. This is model number 1, and this is a long-range model, so this is just a very brief look at the very first part of this model, and it's showing an inch or 2 or 3 for just about everybody, except for southwest Nebraska, which is maybe 1/10 of an inch, extreme southeast Nebraska, which doesn't have anything, but just about everybody has an inch or 2, with mainly central and north central Nebraska seeing the higher amount. So that's model number 1. Another long range model is number 2, and this one shows kind of the same thing. Notice the same area has that 1 to 2 inch swath, and then everybody else is about an inch. So very similar to 1. Model number 2 has 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches of snow. Not a huge amount of snow going on there. Model number 3, this is a middle range model. It has the higher amounts in north central and central Nebraska, and everybody else 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches of snow. So this one also very similar, where it has the heavier amounts in central and northern Nebraska, but just a little bit more on the snowfall totals as we head through the second half of the day on Thursday. So model number 4, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. This one's a little different. This one has a couple of different heavier swaths. Northwest Nebraska and southeast Nebraska, oddly enough, with 1 to 3 inches for both sides, and then there's that swath right down the middle, right down here, that has not even an inch. So that's, like I said, these models are usually together by now, because we're less than 12 hours away from the snow, and they really aren't. Problem is temperature and rain, and we'll talk about that in a second. But model number 5, kind of like the first few, where it has more to the north and central parts of the state, and then southeast Nebraska not so much, but not a whole lot, 1 to 2 or 3 inches of snowfall. Then model number 6, this is a short range model. It has the higher amounts in north central Nebraska. Nothing for Lincoln, Omaha, Nebraska City, and Beatrice. That's where you would see rainfall. So rain is going to try to mix into that in southeast Nebraska. So what do I have? For my forecast, I have this trace, that's what the T means, trace to 1 or 2 inches. So anywhere from Omaha up towards Fremont, Columbus, down towards Broken Bow, Grand Island, this area right here could see a trace because it would be more rain. But if it's more snow, then 1 to 2 inches, not a whole lot. Then you're looking at maybe 2 to 4 to maybe 6 inches of snow in north central Nebraska. You remember all those other models basically had the north central part of the state over and over and over again, so that makes sense. The higher potential in north central Nebraska, and then it kind of tapers off the further south you go. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a whopper of a storm, but it's snow, and if you're doing some traveling for boys basketball or whatever it is, you may run into some snow, especially the further north you go. So that's the forecast. Hopefully you follow me on YouTube so you can have more updates when more snowstorms like this happen. If they do, it is March, so we're getting to the time of year where we may be done with snow, and I'll have to transition over to the severe weather aspect. But that's it. Good luck, everyone.